Hello, I'm Rachel Smith. Welcome to this session on getting started in homeschooling. I am working with customer service here at Master Books, and then also I'm a homeschool mom of 4 and a homeschool coach with Master Books as well. So I just want to talk to you about maybe you're beginning to homeschool, you're thinking about homeschooling, and you're just not sure where to get started. So we're just going to talk about the logistics of that and what's the first thing you should do? What should you know to actually get started into the homeschool community? One of my top things that I'm going to definitely tell you is to think about, why do you want to homeschool? What is your reason for homeschooling? Are you doing it for spending more time with your children? Are you doing it to get away from things that they're being taught in other locations? Are you needing just a safe spot? Whatever your reason, your why. I know for my family, we wanted good biblical worldview curriculum being taught to our children. We wanted our time with our children. We realized the amount of time that people get to invest in our children. That was not us. And we wanted to gather back that time. And then also we wanted to just be able to point them to Christ in all areas of their lives and to be able to just disciple them in that way. And so we have many things in our personal why of homeschooling. So that's one of the things that's just very important. Why you're homeschooling is going to help you keep going as you are homeschooling, as you're coming up to maybe that struggling day. It's a good thing to remind yourself of why you're homeschooling in the first place. So that's a good place to start. What's your reasons? Write it down, record it, remind yourself of why you're homeschooling. Then, common fears that you might have with homeschooling are some of the ones that you would see would be like, they're going to be separated, they're going to be socially awkward, or I'm not going to have enough support. I will tell you that when we entered the homeschool community, we had so many things to do. It became a matter of choosing what to do and what not to do, because we had many opportunities available to us. So the socially awkward one has not been an issue for us as far as getting interaction. And then honestly, our children, they are mimicking us. And so our children are going to have personalities and similarities like their parents, no matter who they're with. But then also one of the things too, that when we do have them in a traditional school, they're really with just people of their peer group all day long. They're with others who are just like them, the same age with them. Whereas when we're in the homeschool community, you have your children around a wide variety of ages, and they get to have good communication skills because they are learning to talk with those that are younger and learning how to deal with those that are younger and troubleshoot, work through the frustrations of those that are younger than them and the interaction there, as well as having that maturity that's given to them in conversations with older students and adults. That's one of the bigger ones that most people bring up, or your family might bring up. And then also just support in the homeschool community. There's lots of support available to us now with Master Books. We personally have great communities online, social media, and an app for you to connect with us. But then also just overall, the homeschool community has lots of resources available to you, from the different types of curriculums to social media groups to local homeschool groups, tutors. Many things are available to you in the homeschool community now that might not have been available previously. So those are usually some of the common fears that people have with that. Another thing would be getting organized. How do you get organized? Where do you start? What do you do? Top tip for getting organized and just knowing where to start is to look into HSLDA, and that's going to be Homeschool Legal Defense Aid. They have an amazing website that will walk you through the steps for you personally in your state as far as what you need to know. When you go to their website, they're going to have a tab that says legal, and you will get to choose your state on that tab, and you'll see exactly what is required in your state for you to begin homeschooling. They'll also have some tips and things in there for you to begin homeschooling in your area. And then if you're working into high school and you're starting at the high school time, they have a page for homeschooling through high school. So lots of great tips and help there on Homeschool Legal Defense Aid's website. Anytime a question comes up to us about credits, transcripts, things like that, or what you're required to do in your state, how many hours you have to homeschool, how do you record what you're homeschooling, whether that's elementary to high school, all of those answers are going to be given to you there on Homeschool Legal Defense Aid's website. So wonderful resource for you. Then also your local homeschool community that I talked about for support. So both of these, Homeschool Legal Defense Aid is a great place for support and information and organization tips, as well as your local homeschool groups. Your state probably has a homeschool group of people who have been lobbying for homeschooling in your state, and that's a wonderful resource to you. So want to find that for your local area to help you begin homeschooling, get that extra support, and then also to help you get the starting and beginning steps to how to enter the homeschool world and how to get organized. Another top thing for getting organized is going to be, you're going to have to pick that curriculum, make those options. Once you've figured out what your local laws are, that's going to be your next step. These are the things my student must take. These are the courses we have to cover. These are the hours we have to cover. So now let's find a good curriculum that meets these needs. Some families stick with one curriculum. Some families pick and choose, but that would be you needing to decide and determine what's best for your family and your home. Then also trying to figure out, as you are beginning to homeschool, how your child learns best. All of those things will just start coming to you once you get into it and you begin homeschooling. And it's okay. You'll start tweaking and changing things as you begin and as you learn your student more. And as you work through the year, something you're going to realize this isn't working. We might need to make a change. All of those things are going to help you get organized and planning. That first year is definitely going to be a little bit of that guinea pig year of you figuring out what works best in your home, what's a good fit for you, what's a good fit for your student, what's a good fit for your family schedule. And we all did it that first year. Mistakes are made, but we were thankful for God's grace on us. And then we have to give ourselves grace as well as we are troubleshooting through those things that first year. Something too, as far as building that blueprint through high school, that's important to you. I mentioned already the Homeschool Legal Defense Aid with HSLDA, but I also want to talk to you about something that we have here at Master Books, and it's our cumulative record. I'm trying to get there for you on the camera. Cumulative record is something that's going to help you keep those records from preschool all the way through their senior year of high school. So this is something also that's going to help you with that getting organized and questions you might have about getting organized. I just want to point out some things specifically about our cumulative record. It is going to start with preschool as far as the first grade level, but you're able to pick it up at any point in time. You don't have to begin using this at the preschool. You can start using it 5th grade, 6th grade, high school years, and you do not have to use just Master Books curriculum to use this cumulative record either. It's a great resource for any curriculum that you might be using, but it's going to start off with some student information here, some basic student information, name, birth date, birthplace, parents, guardians, your address, just some like you're keeping a formal school record here. So you're writing down those things that would be included in a formal school record for your student. You could put a family photo here if you wanted to. It has a place where previous schools attended, so you have a record of that. So it's a great place to document all of the things for your child's education in one spot. So I'll show you the back here so you have your former schools. Then we're going to, after we enter in all of that information about your child's schooling and previous schooling and just get that formal record down, we'll jump right into the different grade levels in this cumulative record. So I'll show you first what that's going to look like here. We'll have a sheet like this for every grade level, and it has things like their actual grades that they've made that year, where you can record if you're keeping grades. The first semester, first 9 weeks, second 9 weeks, third 9 weeks, fourth 9 weeks, semester grades, like a report card, a progress report that you're keeping. But that's something you get to determine too. And you'll want to also check with HSLDA. Do you have to start keeping those formal grades at elementary level, or can you wait until they're in middle school and high school? But again, checking your state and local laws will help you know what to get determined, where you have to begin with that, how to determine those grades. But we have a place for you to record that. Then you get to list the curriculum that you're using that year, each subject, what you're using, academic strengths and weaknesses that you've noticed that year. You'll fill this in at the end. Challenges they may have had that year. So all of your academic things are included, but then also you're going to have spaces to include things like their spiritual growth for that year, books they read, field trips you took, all of those fun things that were accomplished that year. You'll record their physical growth for the year, whether they did any extracurricular activities. So it's a great, and again, every grade, we have this, a great place to just record and keep up with things throughout the year and have that to look back upon. I see it's kind of like a scrapbook of your homeschool years. It's a great keepsake as well. You're able to look through the past and see how your student was in kindergarten, first grade, where they grew at that time, and then compare it to now, look through the years, see their progress, but then also have this amazing record to share with others as needed. Once they're moving on to other higher education, or whether you have to turn in for your state laws. Some states require that you are doing a reporting with the state and turning in things. So it's great for having that as a record as well. And then I want to move into the high school years with that. So you have a sheet like that for grades preschool through 12th grade. But then we get to those high school years and we question how to do that transcript. So we do have in here a blank transcript for you to look at. And then we also have one that is filled in for you to see a sample of what a transcript would look like. With doing the transcript, you will record every year what courses the student took, what their final averages were. So this is a time, by the time you get to the transcript, that you are going to be keeping those formal grades and giving an official grade for each course. You're earning credits. Your student is earning credits. So you'll have to keep up with, this was a full credit. This was a half credit. This is how many credits they had in math. This is how many credits they had in science. All of those things are important to keep up with and record in the high school years. But again, your state laws are really going to guide that for you. So you want to check in with your state laws and see what your student is required to do. But this transcript will help you keep a record of that. I also like to use this transcript. I make several copies of this because it'll change. We'll make a plan. I've graduated 3 students, and I have my final one is entering his senior year. But having this transcript template is a great place to plan what you might do for those high school years, which courses they will take in math, which courses will they take in science. And it gives you a good place to organize all of that. And then you have it to actually fill in what they have completed. So this is like a planning page that you could use, but then also actually fill in what they have completed. In this cumulative record, we do have a blank page for just doing all types of curriculum planning as well, where you can list what curriculums you want to take, and you can use that page for any of the grades, whether it's elementary, middle school, or high school. We do have that option. But once you get to the high school years, the transcript itself is a great place to start keeping up with that record and recording those things of what they're actually doing. And again, we have a sample in here. So we have blank ones, and then we have a sample so you can see what exactly they are doing. And and should be doing, what it should look like, recording those grades and credits. Then we have science lab reports included in here as well. Each year, your student may be doing science activities that you want to keep up with what they've learned, what they accomplished during those labs, the procedures they used. It's a blank template, again, that you can make multiple copies of and use even in the elementary and middle school years. But then once they come to the high school years, if you need to keep a physical formal record of labs that are being done, there's a lab report in here. There's a field trip record that you can use. Each grade level has a field trip spot, but then if you want to have one like this for just overall to keep up of all of the years, what field trips they've taken. Then one of my other favorite things about this cumulative record is that we have a schedule in here, a blank schedule. It looks like this. And if you can see here, this is week 1, week 2, and goes all the way through the 9-week. But then in each week, it has days 1 through 5. And you can use this to schedule out and lesson plan each course that your student is doing and what you want them to do each day. You would write the assignment in on this blank, and then down here you have due dates. So you could write there which day you want your student to complete that assignment. Then there's a spot to put a check, which means this is the day they were to complete it. Then you can check when it was completed. And then here you can put a grade for the daily grade that they made that day. And this is something that could be used with any course, any curriculum to do your lesson planning. All of our master books courses do already come with one of these schedules, and it's a suggested schedule that's in our textbooks. But this is something great to use if maybe you make adjustments to that suggested schedule, or if you're using any other curriculum. We do have this amazing planner here that you can use for scheduling out your courses. If you want to give your student a completion certificate, we have a blank completion certificate that you could use in there as well. We talked about progress reports on each individual grade level. There's a place to keep grades, but we also have a more formal looking progress report that you could use and keep making copies of each year. Standardized tests. Your state might require you to do standardized testing with your student, or you just want to do standardized testing with your student, and you'll need to keep a record of what they did, how they did on each of those standardized tests. And we have a template page for that as well, for you to be able to keep that record. Then something that I love as well about our cumulative record is we have objectives checklist. So this is the language arts, and it has each grade level and things that they should have learned that year, that school year, in language from kindergarten through 12th grade. Some basic things they should have learned in language, some stepping stones, some major points that you should be looking at, developmental points, academic points that they should have accomplished in language arts. Then we have the same thing for math objective checklist for each grade level and what they should have accomplished and what you should be looking for. Then we also have a scripture guidance, and this is for you as the parent. And this, let me just look at this again, scripture for guidance. It says here, we use Luke 2:52 as a great breakdown on guiding us and educating our children for the Lord in wisdom, intellectually, in stature physically, in favor with God spiritually, and in favor with man socially. And it has a list here of multiple verses and things and how they could apply and encourage you in your homeschool journey. This page would kind of connect back to your why, of why you're homeschooling. And again, I mentioned that for us, it was very important that we have a good biblical worldview being taught to our children, but then also that we are discipling them for the Lord and that we are influencing them for Christ. And that to us is most important, even more so than academics. And this page here, the scripture for guidance, is a great place for encouragement for you. It might be a great place to help you find that why and get a verse to go with your why of why am I homeschooling, and just an encouraging verse that's going to keep you going on those rough days that you will have with your children. and a day that you might all be struggling. Tears might be had some days from you and from the children, but that's okay. You will just need that encouragement and that verse to help you. And those are times that, again, I've mentioned we have to give ourselves grace, give our children grace, and take encouragement from the Lord and moving forward in our homeschooling journey. This page is also a great just scripture guidance for you as you are working with your children on those struggling days. And you might need to take a pause and look at scripture and talk through some scripture together. So once again, lots of great things in this cumulative record. So I do encourage using it if you are concerned about organization and record keeping and how to just get started in your homeschool journey. The cumulative record is a wonderful resource to help you keep all of that in one spot and always have it to reference back to when you do need to refer back to something that they have done in previous years, or you just need one landing place for all of your school records for each student. This cumulative record is something that you can purchase digitally. When you purchase it digitally, you have access to that and you can print off multiple copies. I recommend getting it digitally. What I just showed you is what it will look like if you get it in the physical format. It will come in a folder like this and have each one of the pages included. I'll show you again what those pages look like. It will be loose leaf with a 3-ring binder punched. So you can use those hole punches and put it in a binder for yourself. But it is a great resource for keeping all of your records in one spot and getting yourself organized. So just again, to recap all of the things we've discussed, find your why, get some encouraging scripture to help you, motivate you on those days, help you, help your children. Check your local and state laws. First place to start really is checking your local and state laws. With Homeschool Legal Defense Aid is a great resource for that, to see what is required. Find some way to get yourself organized. Talk to other homeschool families in your area. Get encouragement, help, and tips from them. Former moms and veteran moms that have already been in the trenches of doing this are a great resource to you. So definitely finding that community. Masterbooks has wonderful community with our Masterbooks app and our Moms of Masterbooks Facebook group. So lots of good things to just get you started. Don't worry about the fears that you might have, because more than likely there's already an amazing resource for you, great support system in your area, and then also with the groups that we've previously mentioned. We do hope that you are encouraged on your homeschool journey. We hope that you love it. I know I have. It's been an amazing choice for my family and something that I do not regret beginning with my family. And it's been an amazing opportunity for us to grow together as a family. It has allowed my husband and I to know our children and for our children to know us in a way that we probably would not have had if they had gone to traditional school. And then as well as being able to equip them into adulthood for knowing what they believe and why they believe it, having scripture to back it up, biblical worldview, and giving them a good foundation to launch them into the world.